Put a few questions and we can BS
Cool.
while we wait. All right, let's see. Starting stream house is in the green. Looks like we're live. So yeah, what's up, people? Just Retro and I for now. Terrell's gonna be late. We don't know where Robert is, and clocked it. He just had to call it an early night because it's super late. And I don't blame him. I can't believe he's done as many as he did without finally realizing, sometimes sleep is more important than talking about video games. So,
Sometimes.
but yeah, so we're just gonna BS until we get some people in here. But sorry, I had to throw something away. Yeah, we were just chatting about movies off air and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of gaming like stuff to talk about other than there's an indie direct coming up, which I don't expect too much from that. I think Sony's having are they having another PS is another direct
Yeah.
thing, or is it
Was that today or is that tomorrow?
I
Tomorrow.
think it's both tomorrow, like an hour from
is it
each
their
other.
old show that they used to do, or is this just back?
No, it's a state of play.
It's a state of play, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
Apparently, it's supposed to be one of the biggest state of plays yet, which ain't really saying shit because they all been pretty trash.
So let's see, December 10th. So yeah, that is tomorrow, and there's. I doubt they're gonna do anything on the PS5s. I mean, the Ghost of
No.
Tsushima's been kind of absent, and I don't know what they're gonna.
Well, that's rumored as well as the reveal of Resident Evil 3 remake.
Oh yeah, that was leaked, and sorry if you didn't want to know, but there you go. I'm not in love.
Crap!
I'm not in love with Jill Valentine's new design.
I'm not in love with the Yeah, no.
Why'd you didn't have to change her? Because I thought the last couple iterations were so good. It's like,
Right.
it looks kind of weird, but I'm just hoping that this gets the same amount of attention and development cycle as Resident Evil 2, and they're not gonna we gotta get these out, pull like a Disney. We gotta get the live action of all our animated classics out
One every year.
and just start pushing these things out. And I never played Nemesis, not even for a second, so I don't know anything about the game. But I'm looking forward to if it's if it's the same people that did 2. I mean, obviously, I'm really excited for it. So I don't know how that game was on the PlayStation 1.
It was a little bit more frustrating.
Was it?
Yeah, with the Nemesis running around, you can't really touch him. You can't really do nothing.
So
That's
kind of like in the second one with the Miss X or whatever.
It reminds me of think of a newer game, Alien Isolation, where it's just like, all right, AI is tripping,
So you got to run from him like the whole game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh. That I don't know if I'm excited for that, because that was cool in 2, but it also was like I enjoyed the game better without that part.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else about the game I enjoyed more than trying to stay away from him. It was intense. I mean, especially the first few minutes where you're trying to what the fuck? Like, is he? Oh, I just go into this room, right? He's nope. He kicks in the door, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
So
I give 4 often shit for being different, but it's a good different. 3 was trying to be different, but it's kind of bad different.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can improve.
I mean, just think about it. Not as many people are like. I don't know. I feel like not as many people are like hyped about it or talking about 3.
No.
Remake.
As far as I remember, in the past, nobody really cared about Nemesis.
Yeah. Well, that one came out like
that.
at the end of basically PlayStation 1's life, and a lot of people just didn't even play it. And then nobody bought the GameCube versions.
Yeah.
Poor GameCube versions. So
somebody in the chat says somebody announced they're bringing BioShock back, or who? That's still 2K. I don't. That's not EA.
Bringing it back.
Like,
no, that's 2K.
Is it a new one? And is the guy Ken Levine or whatever involved? Because I mean, he at least makes interesting games.
Yeah, that was his baby.
The second one without him just felt like somebody trying to imitate BioShock 1 into it.
Felt Guilds Reward Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like kind of off.
God of War Ascension type stuff.
Yeah, God of War Ascensions,
Because
exactly.
I bought two, and I'm like, all right, I can't wait to play this. I played like an hour. I'm like, this just feels like a clone of Bioshock 1. Like, this doesn't feel like Bioshock to me.
Yeah.
And I just gave up on it right away.
I took it back. I don't even have it. I just have That's one of the games I returned. I was like, not feeling this.
So, yeah, I don't expect anything massive from Sony. Like, it sucks that they'll probably maybe show The Last of Us again. I don't think they need to. Like, you've already delayed it. Just wait till next year to show that. But I'm digging my PlayStation, so I'm looking. This will probably be the most I pay attention to one of these because I've grown a little more fond of my PS4 over the past year. Started with just not even Sony, but just with Resident Evil 2. And I'm like, man, that's such a good game. And then I picked up some other games, and I've been enjoying most of them, and so I'm actually interested. But it's just so crazy that this less than a year and the next system's out.
I know.
And it's like,
Look at me. I'm about to buy an X. Like,
yeah, shit just feels like it feels like it's like last generation went just a little too long. I think as far as, I mean, I guess it just went long. I don't know if it was too long.
Talking 360 PS3.
Yeah, and it's like,
Wait.
But then it felt like they've kind of rushed out as far as the games and stuff. The PS4, Xbox One didn't feel like the games weren't quite there in the first couple years. And it's like you should have just waited till like 2015 to
launch.
Probably launch.
Well, they were worried about Wii U, but
yeah,
now they know they didn't have much to worry about.
But it's like it does feel like PS4 has just really been hitting its stride the last year or so, and it's. I mean, I unless they got some exclusive, I was thinking, the PS5 backwards compatible. It's gonna be like, it should have all the features. The reason I bought the TV I bought was it's future proof. It has all the new HDMI 2.1 specs, and a lot of it. A couple of them are going to be big for gaming, like an auto gaming mode where auto low latency. You don't have to switch anything. You could have just as soon as the game starts, the system starts, it automatically recognizes it as a game console and puts you in the low latency mode. Has a variable refresh rate, so you got if a game like Trials Rising that has terrible screen tearing, if the Xbox One S knew that my TV could do that, then I wouldn't have to see screen tearing. So I mean, I bought this, and the TV has super low input lag, so I was like, all right, I'm ready for the future, and I kind of hoping I'm assuming the PS5 and the next Xbox are gonna cater to all those features. So I was like, I'll probably get it day one, but now I'm thinking about it, I was like, I'm just really enjoying the Pro right now, and I was like, unless they have some must-have exclusive, like, I mean, what's the point? Like, why would I get it day one? I've never bought anything other than the Dreamcast. That's the only non-Nintendo system I ever bought day one. So I was like, I might as well keep that streak going.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what else was... It feels like there was something else gaming related that I can't...
There was some leaked... well, I guess it's leaked. I don't know. Mystery Switch games and shit.
Oh, was there? I didn't see anything on that.
Oh.
Usually when, like, GameStop will have, like, we got a bunch of new Switch games in our system without names.
Yeah.
Something
well,
like
I was
that?
watching... Well, Doc Trade 1, I guess he figured out some stuff. He does his LinkedIn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because I was watching, like, Spawn Wave. And he credited him, for the information and stuff, and then he put up this photo of him. it was just a hilarious looking photo because he was being all serious. It was like that photo he makes of basically the have a seat photo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so funny because juxtaposed with John Spawnleaf's kind of serious,
Mm-hmm.
kind of monotone, and and then having that picture of Doc Trey, that was hilarious to me for some reason. I was just dying this morning.
I actually literally unsubbed Dr. Trey yesterday, I think, when that thing posted, because, like, That's all he does now, and I'm not even gonna pretend I sub to him because of all the drama bullshit. But he like he never does that shit anymore, and everything, every video is now. Oh, I went to LinkedIn and I saw this post. Like, bitch, I don't care. Like, I just
How
don't
many
want
of
to
that?
see
You,
like
How
what
many
you
of
the.
that
gotta
shit?
evolve, man. You
Yeah,
gotta
and has
evolve.
any of that come? I know The Witcher 3 he'd been saying for like 2
No,
years.
he was right. He's right about a lot of this stuff. Like I'll give him credit for that. I mean, he definitely.
But it's like he
Um,
spends more time on LinkedIn than he spends on his Switch. It's like,
oh, well, that's a whole nother story.
yeah, like talking about, oh, I'm excited for this game. I'm like, dude, you had like an hour in the Xenoblade Chronicles X. How many videos did you make about how good it looked and how it was looked like
Ouch.
PS4 games? It's like, come on. But
Uh,
it just feels like there was something else I wanted to talk about before we get in. I'm hoping Terrell and Robert jump in here because I want to do a Death
There's
Stranding
been,
game
of
of.
course, there's been something like the Mario Maker shit.
Oh yeah, the Mario Maker update.
oh
You're right.
yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, we can.
And I mean, it's cool. There's some the Link stuff is really cool, and I got all inspired. I start making a level, and then I watch the Dragon Feeny who does basically all Mario Maker stream. She's super good at the game, and somebody the next day already had a Zelda dungeon level. What
Goodness
it was
gracious.
so fucking intricate and amazing. Like, so you go in this
Doesn't that should
room.
just kill your motivation when
Yeah,
you see
there was
that?
4 pipes, all directions, and there was red and blue blocks, on-off switches, all that. And then yeah, did something. She finally figured it out, and then she went, and it was like the level flooded because then you went in a pipe, and then all of a sudden you were in the exact same room, but it was filled with water, so it took you to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then she had to go through all the rooms, but now underwater. So he just recreated the same exact rooms again, and now that this on-off switch was unlocked, so now she could go to this area, get this thing, find this key. Then there was a boss fight. It was just like, holy shit! Like I don't even want to try. It was so good. So I put the Master Sword. I put some blocks to blow up with the bombs. I put a spike, well not spike, but the cactus guys, and I was like, I'll save it. I'll get back to it. And then I was like, felt so uninspired. I should be motivated by it, but I'm just like, there's no way it's gonna be that good. So
I do that often though. Like I start a level because I have an idea and I work on it, and after a while I'm like, okay, that's good for now. And then at some point I start a different level, and then later I come back to it. I have a few like levels that are still in progress. I guess, just the way I build it. I guess.
T has a bunch of levels still in progress.
Man, T
Yeah, I'll
still
get
has
back
his
to you
levels
on
from
that.
Mario Maker 1 in progress.
That's what happens with me, man. I get demotivated when I see other people's stuff. Just like screw it.
Yeah, I had my initial like ideas for levels like the first day at work after I got the game, and I made all those levels, and then I thought of one other one later, and then it's like, man, I had all these. I had this brainstorm. I had like 10 levels in my head all at the same time. Made them all, and I was just like, I had nothing left. I had no inspiration. I started some levels, and I got nothing. So it's kind of a bummer, but I mean they had some cool stuff. They didn't add a ton. The 3D World only got the boost pads, which is it's like, come on guys, you 3D World needed the most. It's like all you could add is the speed pads. Like that was kind of disappointing, but overall it's cool, and it helps the streamers for sure that stream Mario Maker the most because people make levels just for people to the streamers to play.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Robert, he's like he's got so many levels to play that he can't even get through them all. It's like so that's I mean that's kind of the lifeblood of the first game, and now it's for the second game because other than that, not too many people really talk about it. I think it's been kind of overshadowed by other games, and if you look at the Metacritic, I think it's the second highest rated Switch game this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 89 or something like close to that.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's up there with Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is the highest for this year. That actually came out this year. So yeah, it's cool. I feel like it's a little late. I feel like the update for the friends lobbies delayed them because that it feels like the the time to do it would have been like within a month or 2 months max after the game came out. Here's some new content. You guys are still playing it. Here's some more content, to keep you playing it. So I don't know if that was strategy or just they had to put the team on the friends lobby, which we all know how that turned out in our test.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And did we talk last week about the fucking... We talked about the Super Metroid remake thing, didn't we?
I think...
Yeah, we talked about it.
I don't know. I remember the poll you posted, but it was afterwards.
Yeah, I put up a poll. I wasn't really, I didn't have any intentions for it. I just like, I had this idea. Is like, what are some of like, before the GameCube, what are like some of the biggest games that Nintendo for the Switch could remake, and it would be like a pretty big deal. Everybody had not everybody, a lot of people had ideas outside of my four, but I was just trying to think of four, included Super Metroid, and I had Ocarina of Time, Super Metroid, Super Mario 64, and A Link to the Past. So 2 Super Nintendo and 2 N64 games. I was struggling really to think of N64 games that would, like, I don't want any of these games to be remade, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see what people, if you give them 4 choices that are kind of tough, to see what people would pick.
Yeah.
So, I actually got 91 votes, so it was a pretty good participation. Ocarina of Time got 44%, Super Metroid 19%, Mario 64 24%, and A Link to the Past got 13%. And it was like
my thought process for your poll was pretty simple. I was thinking, okay, A Link to the Past, we've had A Link Between Worlds, which felt like a remake, even though it's a different game, but I could imagine that's what it would be like.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Metroid, and we had like Samus Returns. I feel like, okay, that's kind of probably what it would kind of be like, maybe. And the Ocarina of Time, like we had Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and I didn't like how they handled it. So I was like, you know what? Basically, we almost had everything kind of. I was like, I want like a Mario 64 kind of, just the same game, maybe with like Odyssey visuals, and maybe some spacing things so you can like adjust the maneuverability of Mario or some shit. But that's something I would like to see, maybe.
Yeah, and I was trying to think, like, if I really, like, was put on the spot, it's like, all right, A Link to the Past and Super Metroid, to me, the only thing there is to do is just put a new graphics style, art style, and graphics engine on top of the games. I don't think...
That's what A Link Between Worlds is.
Basically.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And, and I'm like, all right, Super Mario 64, so you bump up the visuals... And then obviously, I think one of the biggest issues, well, even back then, even though we made it through, we made it work, was the camera sometimes just wouldn't go where you wanted it. So, I mean, we've come a long way with that. That would be really the only quality of life improvement I think they would do. But
what game?
Mario 64.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'm just like, I wonder what those levels would play like if you just improve the visuals. Would it feel a little small? Would it feel a little small scale? Or, I mean, I don't know.
That's what I meant with like, the spacing and stuff. You just adjust the scope of the levels without actually changing them.
Yeah, you could do that.
I think it would be small and barren.
I mean, they could fill it with some cool looking stuff, but it's like, really, you just got the first level, especially, you get to the top. But it was all back then. It was you were in awe just of the fact that you're moving in 3D and all the moves Mario had, and just being able to control them in a 3D environment. I mean, we've had so many great.
That was a huge part of the game. It was a huge part of the excitement, like you said, of the game. Is just being able to walk around in 3D space. We hadn't really done that well up until that point.
So I narrowed it down to basically Ocarina of Time, I think, has... But then at the same time, because we've had Breath of the Wild and stuff, it's like, that's almost the same thing, too. You just make the visuals look better, and Hyrule Field's going to feel really small. So what do you got to make it you got to increase the scope. It's a tough call. You just...
Honestly, all I would want is the port of the 3D version, like what they did visually with that, because I don't want it to stray too far away graphically to where it doesn't even feel like Ocarina of Time anymore.
Yeah,
that's my
true.
worry.
I mean, but look at what Resident Evil 2, how far that strayed, but just feels like such a great game. But I mean, it wasn't really a 3D game to begin with. So I was like,
But I mean, the difference with that game is that it was always trying to be photorealistic. It was always about that. So visually, it's where they wish, what they wanted to be back then, but they didn't have the technology.
I think Nintendo could come up with a pretty
what are they
awesome
going to
art
do?
style and still have the soul of Ocarina of Time, but definitely make the world just completely seem not fully open, but it don't have like the loading in between, and just kind of have. You would have to expand upon it. Like I said, a big budget remake. I think it'd be almost like you got two choices. You either just do what Shadow of the Colossus did and just not slap, but you put really amazing visuals and keep everything almost exactly the same, and it plays the same and all that. Or you just say, we're going to use the Ocarina of Time name, we're going to use the story, the dungeons, and we're going to make just a reimagining this, huge scale, you're going to see Hyrule Field and you're going to get, like goosebumps. It's just going to be so huge, and, something like that.
That's what I would rather have. I mean, you have to.
But at that point, why not just make a new Zelda game?
Right.
So it's
that's the predicament you're in.
That's why I kind of is also just you had to choose between 4 tough choices, and it might be tough just because you didn't want any of them, or it might have been tough because somebody might have wanted all of them or 2 of them, So it was just something I threw together just to kind of get some interaction.
But I mean, they can, even if you're doing that, I mean, they can. The production time will be faster. The development time will be faster because you already have your story. You already have your, your timeline basically of where you're going to go. Even though it's going to be different things, that is a big part of game making, is just figuring out the world and what you're doing and all that stuff. So if they can take a lot of time off of that development, then it will still be better for them to try to do a remake than it would be to just do a new game.
Yeah, and I'm just reading the thread. I guess I missed a few messages. Somebody said that Twilight Princess is almost like a remake of Ocarina of Time. I mean, in some ways, it kind of felt like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then somebody's like, why not Earthbound, Star Tropics, Skyward Sword? Everybody wanted to add games that were... I didn't want to go too new. Like, I guess Sunshine would have been the only other... I would have replaced one of them with Sunshine, probably, if I was going to go into the GameCube generation. But...
that would have been an easy pick.
Yeah. I think, I would be interested in a Sunshine remake, actually.
Yeah, fix those controls.
Do something. Finish the game. Make it the game they wanted. So, what's up, Terrell and Robert? You guys good? You here?
Yeah.
Yo.
All right.
What's
so
up,
now that
guys?
you guys are here, we can do...
These are our live streamers. They tired, and that's why they're late.
Uh-huh.
I was busy doing other things.
Finish Luigi's Mansion 3 yet?
Oh yeah, I beat that Saturday.
No.
What'd you think of the
I
final boss?
don't understand why people said the final boss was disappointing. I don't understand.
I thought it was.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I hated trying to aim. We had like a 1 second window to hit him.
I mean, I thought it was cool, yo. I enjoyed it a lot.
What game are you talking about?
The final boss of Luigi's
We're not
Mansion 3.
saying anything specific.
No, I literally just finished that too, like an hour ago.
Yeah. What'd you think?
There you go. All right.
I wasn't the last one,
thing-
guys.
I'm the only one that ain't finished that shit yet.
The thing is with me is I actually really liked it because I played with Robert on his stream. I think we did the skyscraper, and I really liked the boss and that, and it was kind of like an evolved version of that.
Yeah, it was
Just
pretty
better
similar.
done.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with that. I actually really liked that. The aiming, once I learned that you just shouldn't fucking aim up, then it was actually really easy after that. But man, everything leading up to that, goddamn, I love this game, man.
I also appreciate some of the subtle touches, like with Mario being so impatient.
Yeah, I thought well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I just kind of had a feeling.
Watch him out.
Something was off. I was suspicious. We'll just say I was suspicious
of
that climb up to the top.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah,
it's
I got
weird,
you.
but it does kind of point out something about the Super Mario movie and what they can't do is what Luigi's Mansion did. You can't have gibberish and then a few words, like, and it can't be such a character if they're gonna make a movie, a Super Mario movie. Like,
Yeah, at a certain point, there's only so much you can convince with like the gibberish.
mm-hmm.
Like you have to. That's why even in Luigi's Mansion 3, and T knows this just from the little bit he's played. Like Luigi has snuck in more English. This is probably the most English Luigi speaks
Oh yeah.
in like the entirety of the series.
And
like,
Mario says stuff too.
Oh yeah,
so.
Mario.
But it's like, yeah, that can't.
all the
can't
weird
be-
shit, the groovy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'm a
like,
star.
I remember, Juice. I think a few weeks ago, you were talking about how you were looking for a complaint because the game was like borderline. I don't know if you said perfect, but it was like you had nothing really.
There wasn't much
about.
to nitpick other than how many times you have to hit A when you boot the game up fresh after having it close. You know. The
one nitpick I noticed, and the one thing I don't really like, is the fact that like the game for the most part teaches you how to handle most ghosts, but like exposing them if they have some sort of covering, and then hitting A, and a lot of the bosses work that way too. But the one thing I don't like is that like because the majority of the ghosts are like that, you have these few ghosts that only can be hit once they've already whiffed their attack.
Oh yeah.
And you won't know it until after it happens. So like, but my issue is because the game trains you to get them before they attack, you would never know unless you just happen to not catch them on time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little annoying for me personally.
I would say it's just like.
Thanks for the info, bro.
I never.
I mean, be fair, T. It only comes up a few times, and you're not gonna know which one it is. I think that's the part that's gonna tick you off.
Well,
Like,
I'll know not to be sitting there hitting the dude. Over
Yeah,
and
if
over
you're
again.
trying, you just like, oh, nothing's working. What do I do? That's when I just like, all right, let's just see what happens.
Even when you know it, trust me, I've had like several bosses and shit, and I still just try to beat them. After half an hour, I'm like, okay, there's got to be something else to it.
well, let me
And
ask you a
Just
question,
don't
T.
think of
Let me
it.
ask you a question, T. Have you run into the cat yet?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that one you definitely have to figure. I actually figured that out pretty quick,
Really?
but
Yeah.
one of the
same
things
here.
that's crazy to me is like how late in the game I am, and I'm still forgetting about Luigi and like, oh wait, maybe that's what I need to do. Like,
'cause
Yeah,
I
that's
think
in here.
I think it was you and Retro who ended up in my stream when I was in the museum. No,
Yeah.
the museum. Yeah. And y'all were like, and I think Juice was
I didn't
like,
tell you what
oh,
to do. I just
no,
said,
no, you
I
were
thought
like,
it was gonna take you forever.
you said something like, I wonder how long it's gonna take him to figure this one out. And I got it pretty quickly, but if you go, I got to the gym area later on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I saw the Twitch stream of it. People were like, how did it take you so long? It's the room with the mirror in it. That's all I'm gonna say. I spent almost like 30 minutes in that room
Huh.
because I couldn't figure out like what the fuck it wanted me to do.
Speaking of mirrors, it took me a while to figure out, how to address those images in the mirror that aren't in the real world.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
why did that take me so long? Once I did, I was like, duh.
Yeah, also T, I'm just gonna tell you right now, remember that because there are certain things you're gonna run across later that
Oh,
I
I'll
can
hold on to it. I know that's gonna happen
because
more.
that fucking flashlight, I was like, all right, the dark light, I need that shit. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
And there are certain enemies that you literally cannot like stop.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
crazy how
The
far.
one
in the
thing
game-
I'll say is my favorite boss is honestly not that. It's the one with the I guess I can't really say it right. It's
I mean,
floor
give me-
12, I think. I think it's floor.
Is it
12.
the 12?
But I don't want to say like what it is.
Oh, is it the
It's the
is there a
thing-
lot of
it's-
sand?
Yeah, no,
No?
No,
Nah.
that was like floor 8 or 9, wasn't it? 10?
No.
no, I think that was like 11.
I'm
I
close,
thought
but I
it was
would
10, but yeah.
It was like
It's fun to listen to you guys dance around spoilers.
it
we're
was
trying,
like,
we're trying to do
I think it was in the. It's when you get that upgrade. You go.
Oh, that boss?
That boss, I like that one a lot.
Actually, that's the boss. That's a good example of like my issue.
Really, I like that one
Yeah,
a lot.
because you
Yeah.
can't hit him. You can't get him until after he whips the attack, and it's like what?
Yeah, I think it's dope as fuck.
I mean, it's a cool fight. It's probably the most.
It's literally the most different boss.
It's the most cinematic. It's one of the more like cool cinematic things you can do.
Yeah.
Cinematic fights I like. I actually like the pyramid one. That's like one of my favorites.
The first time I saw the pyramid, I'm like, holy shit! Like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, this area is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And you're like moving the sand. You can suck it up, or
Uh-huh.
you can push it around. And it's like, I would say like,
I think that's the most graphically, like, to me, that's a good graphical showcase for it.
oh yeah, I mean the whole game is. But
Because I was like, what the fuck? How did you build mechanics around this and this shit like work consistently?
Yeah, right.
just
Right.
not even the bosses though, but some of the just seeing the areas, like the I don't know. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there's some water. There might be some palm trees. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I
There's,
think I
there's
know.
also some
Yeah.
sand.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah, I know.
bell.
What you're- yeah, I know. What you're
I'm like,
talking about.
this could be a movie. This a lot of the stuff in there. I'm like, this should be a fucking DreamWorks animations fucking movie. Like that atmosphere. Like you chime the bell and it sounds just like what it should sound like, and it's like just it's so fucking fitting. It's not scary, but the atmosphere is so like
Yeah, I wasn't scared
engrossing.
by it,
It's
but
like
I could totally like the vibe of the whole place just clicks together in a way where you're like, fuck.
there's a few rooms that are just basically the boss fight, and there ain't a whole lot to them. But
There's only like I only could think of like what maybe two
yeah,
or
the
three.
museum one or the
Yeah, the museum one's a good one, and then there's there's another one later on that's literally like a couple of rooms and then a boss.
Oh
fight.
yeah.
the final room, the final floor was awesome too. It's like
The bottom floor, I was surprised how deep that shit was because I thought it was gonna be like.
I thought it was gonna be the boss fight. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're kind of
All right, real quick, we're good. One last thing, and this one most people T will experience soon. I feel like the game suffers a little bit with some padding because of some arbitrary missions you
There's
have
a couple,
to do.
yeah, where you have to go back to an area.
I
Which
actually,
I
I
know.
actually quite like that. I know some people.
Yeah,
are
me
like,
too.
I don't
quite,
hate
quite
it.
like that.
I don't hate it, but it feels like it's like the game's already long enough for me personally. So I was like, it feels like
I got all the booze, all the gems, and beat
dude.
the
I didn't
game
even
in
run
20
into
hours.
any booze like after like
I think
the third
I didn't.
floor.
You have to go back. The only way they come up is if you go back to a floor after you beat it.
What? Really?
Because I bought the things that show you, but I didn't even look at the map one time, and you just feel the HD rumble kicks in, and then the music changes when you're in the right room. And I'm like, oh, but they don't show up until after you finish the floor and go back.
That's
to the
what
floor.
I figured because I never ran into.
Yeah,
it.
you have to go
Okay,
back.
that makes more sense. All right, okay, I got you.
I think the thing I like best about the game is that it addresses like it's still like a kids game in quotations, but I like how it
It's a family
addresses a
game.
lot of like horror.
It's a
shit,
family
like
game.
I heard that, man.
it, it,
That's a
it
family
addresses
game.
a lot of different like phobias and fears and movies you've seen. Like some of the levels you guys just talked about, like with the random boss fight that Robert liked. That level. It's a specific type of horror movie. You have this like in the hotel, and you have like with the sand stuff you talked about, and even for me, like I'm pretty ginormously arachnophobic, and at one point I took like a poster off. I think it was a poster, a painting off a wall, and there was a hole, and there were like 20 spiders, some shit crawling out of it. It's just so well done, all that stuff.
I will say, as a person who also dislikes spiders a lot, I can feel you on that. Although I think the second game was worse with that fucking that spider boss in Dark Moon. Fuck that boss. I couldn't. Shit,
Yeah,
bugged the shit out of me.
That Spider Balls is something else.
Yeah.
Expectations for the next game are through the roof now for me. Like this needs to be out every console generation now. Like this is up there with the top tier for me.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
but
Fully
Luigi
3D,
makes
yeah.
yeah, that'd be a while though.
A VR version would be cool.
Oh my goodness,
Would you want that?
I would.
I would.
They have
Okay.
Not a Labo VR.
No,
but
not
a real,
yeah, not. I just for the 3D depth.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, like,
just to be in that world though too.
3DS.
Would be awesome. So we're talking about Luigi's Mansion 3 game. Definitely is one of the better games this year. We can tell that by the one nomination it got at the Game Awards for Best Family Game.
Don't do this, bro.
So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the Death Stranding Game Award game where we're gonna predict.
Oh, we're gonna predict the.
I'm gonna go through the what's nominated for and just a yes or no I don't. If you want to give what you think's gonna win, that's fine. But just is Death Stranding, is it gonna win in this category? Yes or no? And then we'll just go through, and then we can do a. Probably won't watch the show live, and do a stream because my back's been kind of bugging me. So I don't know if I want to sit there, do that. But I definitely am gonna keep score and see how we do. So let's just start with the I guess the lowest category on the voting list. I don't. It's not the lesser of anything, but so best score in music. So we'll start with Retro Death. Is Death Stranding gonna win for best score in music? Yes or no?
Can I quickly just for this category know what the other nominees were? Does anybody know?
Score in music was the Cadence of Hyrule. Shit.
When the Kingdom Hearts.
No, I got to bring it back up. I don't know why I
that
closed it.
was all. Kingdom Hearts only
This
got
one
nominated
is so
for-
hard.
No,
Yeah.
I got nominated
Added the
twice. I thought it was-
license
I thought it was-
I don't know if it matters what else is now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to
Well,
decide.
especially because they added the license. Okay, I'll just say no.
So you're saying no, Terrell? What do you think?
No.
Ouch! I got cat claws in my leg. Hold on.
That's
The
random.
pussy has gotten hold of you.
Yeah, I'm holding the shoelace thing on. I'm trying to find this fucking category. I'm close. All right, so it's Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3,
Oh, it is.
Right, I knew-
say Sayonara, Wild Hearts, and Cadence of Hyrule. I don't know how Devil
Yeah,
May Cry
Devil May
5.
Cry
That's just got
is
some random metal music that plays for 10 seconds while you're fighting. It just feels so out of place.
Damn.
So
I feel this is an attack on me. I'll let it
Terrell,
slide.
what do you think?
Yeah, I said no. I don't think it's gonna win that.
Robert, is it gonna win? Score music.
Score music. I'm gonna go and say yeah.
T, I know you don't care, but
Why you put me through this shit then? Why? Yeah.
It's like the safe bet is just saying yes.
So
to
that means
everything.
Juice is the tiebreaker.
fuck. It is actually helpful to see the nominees.
Right, because that way you know. Well, you think you know anyway.
I'm on the screen,
Sham
dude.
ass award.
This
show.
is one of those awards where I don't think Kojima has anything to do with the score and the music.
Right.
So I'm gonna say no based on that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a big enough deal for it to win it.
All right, so best performance, Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen,
Mads.
sorry. There's a separate one for Norman Reedus.
large.
So you had a character from Gears 5, Control, in the Outer Worlds, and another guy from Control, some doctor guy. So
Was
is
Reedus one?
Reedus will be the next
Oh,
one.
okay.
So is Mads Mikkelsen gonna win? I'm gonna say
Wait, what do you mean? Is that they're not both in the same?
yeah, they're in the
thing?
same category. So it's
Yeah, okay.
So I'm gonna say no for Mads. T.
I'm gonna say no for Mads as well.
And we might as well do them both. I'm gonna say yes for Norman.
See, I want to say yes for Norman, but this Game Awards show is woke. I don't know if they want.
I think they changed.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think they
I
might
think
do a
they
woman?
might have changed.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they might throw
Oh,
that
that's
control
actually,
chick.
that's good. Mm.
That's my guess.
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. All right, so you're saying no for both.
I'm saying
Robert,
no for both.
Mads, and Norman. You think?
No.
Yeah, I would say. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna just say that Kiwi wants that Norman man.
Yeah. What do you think, Terrell?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no for Mads. I think Norman's been in the public eye too much. It's gotta be yes for him. I feel like it's yes for him.
All right, retro.
So actually, I'm kind of like I knew Norman Reedus way before Walking Dead shit, like Boondock Saints, and I used to love him as an actor. But like you guys said, now he's kind of a bit overplayed.
He's
And
one note.
I still think he's going to win for that. I'm going to say yes to him. And I actually really like Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, so I kind of almost hope he wins. I'm going to say yes for him too.
Well, you can only
Yes.
pick one of those. One or the other.
There can only be one.
There's
Oh, you can only.
They're in the
that's
same
what That's
category.
why I asked earlier, but I thought you guys separated.
they're in the
I'm
same
gonna-
category,
I'm
but in
going to
this,
go with my guy. I'm going to say with Mads.
you're gonna stay
I
with
like
Mads.
I like Mads too. He was really good in Casino Royale. Loved him in that.
Oh, well, he's in Doctor Strange. You remember?
What do you
him?
think, Oh, wait, everyone went. So
Yeah, I don't even remember that. I'm sorry.
All right. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. You have A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, he's winning that.
Retro.
I love how you do it.
Retro.
I would bet money on it almost. It's gonna win this.
Yeah. All right. Terrell.
Part of me wants me to think it's gonna be Outer Worlds, but fucking knowing how this is gonna go, it'll probably be Death Stranding. So yeah, Death Stranding.
Robert.
Yeah, this is like definitely the one you would think it would take.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't fucking deserve it, but that's besides the point.
T, what do you think?
What's the award again?
Narrative.
Ah, fuck.
This is the game that this category was designed for, I feel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Death for this.
I'll be shocked if it doesn't win this one.
I love how T's kind of like Jeff Keighley. He's like pretending it's a hard choice, but he knows the answer.
All right, so best game direction, basically director of the year. Last year it was, or 2 years ago, it was studio and director of the year. Now it's best game direction. If I was going to have to bet a large sum of money on anyone, like double down on a category, there's no way in hell that Kojima doesn't win for best game direction this year. There's no fucking way. Jeff Keighley's
like
gonna sell his soul to make sure it happens.
Although
This
I already
dude
know,
is
I know what Juice's preferred one would be though.
I picked Resident Evil 2
I know you did. I already knew you did. That's why I saw it.
because it's the only one I played off the list. So it's hard.
Yeah,
to...
I figured as much.
All right, T, do you think Kojima's gonna get best game direction?
Of course.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrell, what do you think?
You know what? Oh wait, no, that's not the Outer Worlds. Never mind. Yeah, it will. I thought it was the Outer Worlds when I saw it. I'm like, no, that's Outer Wilds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, it's Death Stranding.
You think Jeff's
Retro.
gonna give, pass up the chance to nut snuggle up under his nuts?
I mean, considering
for
I feel
best
like Outer
director?
Worlds needs to win something else. So I'm
For
like,
best
I'm trying to figure out what that area would be.
Think you're gonna let
So
Kojima
did you
lose
say yes
best
for this
director? No way.
Yeah, I said yes to Death Stranding.
So that's 2 categories in a row. We're all unanimous.
I didn't even vote yet.
Oh,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
sorry, Retro.
Well, as you know, we all know Kojima is already sitting backstage anyway. Of course, I'm going to vote yes.
Why'd you even counter that?
All right, so the next one's a little bit. I mean, for some people, it's probably like, who cares? For me, it's one of the best parts of a game when done right, and that's audio design.
I thought you were going to say gameplay.
I mean, other than gameplay, obviously, but I'd take just
forgot.
amazing audio design over the visuals and all that any day of the week. I am such a sucker for amazing audio, so I believe Death Stranding probably has really good audio, but let's go with Retro. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm sure that
I'll say no.
You're gonna say no.
Yeah.
Control.
This is the kind of category where it's like, you can't win everything. They have to make it pretend like it's fair, and this is the one I feel they can shove under the rug.
They have to pretend like it's fair.
This is what happens when the depression kicks in.
All right, Terrell, what do you think? Is Death Stranding going to win audio design?
Considering they got to give Resident Evil something, I would say I think Resident Evil is going to win that one. So no,
All
no
right,
to Death
Robert.
Stranding.
Yeah, I could see him maybe just kind of saying, I wish it was Death Stranding, but I have to give it to someone else.
This will probably be the one Control wins, but
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I don't think it'll be Death Stranding though.
This is the greatest discussion
I
ever.
know.
We're all like, well, they have to give this game something, So
Listen, once you acknowledge that it's corrupt, it's easy to make a better decision. All right.
Control ain't winning shit.
Control has to get like some.
No, I
award.
think Control will
It's-
get those things.
if
yeah.
Control wins Game of the Year, it'll be one of the most underrated games of all time.
Well, but that's including Death Stranding. They both have the same.
I'm just
like,
saying, no one's talking about Control. No one talked about
Oh,
Control earlier in the
yeah.
year. It's Metacritic's 82. It's like,
It came and went. Nobody gave a
but
shit.
a couple people that I've heard talk about this that played Control are like, oh yeah, that's probably my pick. I'm like, really? Like, wow. But anyway, T, do you think Death Stranding's gonna get the audio design award? Again, that's not Kojima's responsibility. So
I like how that's what dictates it. Did Kojima had a hand in it? No, it's not that big of a deal.
I'm just gonna mark it down for no T.
What was that? Sorry.
Audio design, Death Stranding, yes or no?
No.
It's tough. It really depends on what, how far this is gonna get taken. Like, is it gonna win every award, or are they gonna be picking? Oh yeah,
It's gonna win the majority.
We gotta let something else win here, So I'm gonna say no, even though I think it probably does deserve to at least be in the 5 nominations.
Yeah, but I feel like Resident Evil has a lot of leg up on it purely because it's a horror game and the audio design means so much to it.
All right, so art direction.
I think the problem with us, we all want to believe maybe they change their minds, but every time we think like maybe it is going to be more legit, then they post some kind of thing on Twitter like which will win more awards, Death Stranding, Control. I'm like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that, dude? Why would you even ask that question? You know what they're in right now,
assholes.
Dude, it was 80 independent panel came up with the nominations. Just want to point that out.
And I still find that panel hilarious because they're the same people that voted. That
reviewed the games.
Other games higher than these same games. I don't understand.
So art direction. This is the divisive one here. There's 2 indie games, Gris and the Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've never seen either game in motion. Link's Awakening, I've seen Sekiro and Control, Death Stranding, I've all seen them. But to me, this is the one, if I had to pick one, there's no chance in hell. I'm doubling down on Death Stranding not winning art direction.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So
I think that this will be Nintendo's pity win.
Something, yeah. There's just no way.
As much as I hate to say it that way, that's the way I feel like it's gonna come off. It's like, oh look, because Zelda used claymation this year. Here's your.
Or it's gonna be.
Here's your award.
It'll be one of the 2.
I actually think, yeah, we have like Sayonara Wild Hearts and Gris, like those games both look phenomenal. They have like a real art. I'm also gonna say no for Death Stranding on this one.
No. Cutting. All right, Terrell, no.
Yeah, no.
T. Robert,
no.
That'd be great if it did,
That would be something.
I feel like somebody would flip a table. I dead ass.
All right.
I would love for it to sweep. Honestly, I think
action adventure game. I feel like it's the same fucking nominees almost.
Which one?
Action adventure. You got Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Oh.
Retro. Yes or no?
I'm gonna say no, and if it wins it, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Because I mean, a lot of the 4 of them are Game of the Year nominations. So that rules out Borderlands and Zelda automatically.
But all of them are actually, I don't really see it like that myself, but all of them are really good action games, action adventure games, and Death Stranding just fucking isn't.
All right, so Terrell, what do you think?
Oh no, this was hard. Fuck. We said they had to give Control a gimme. It's either going to be, I think it'll be Control or Sekiro, so I'm going to say no to Death Stranding.
All right, Robert.
I think I just don't think so. I think that would cause outrage if they gave it to an action adventure game.
The whole fucking award's going to be outrage.
So would it be something if the winner of Best Action Adventure Game didn't win Game of the Year? We should look to see if that's happened before.
Well, that's the thing is that
so if Control won the Best Action Adventure Game, but then fucking Resident Evil 2 won's Game of the Year, that wouldn't make any sense, would it? Honestly,
no, it wouldn't. I don't think
unless
it would.
They're just looking at every category completely separate and whatever they feel like voting for at that moment.
But that means that's what they're saying is, wow, the story of Control is so good to put it over Resident Evil 2. You know what I mean?
The other part of the game justified it.
I mean, this is basically the best game in this category. It's not like, oh, it's the best at puzzle solving. It's just this is the best game in action adventure, and 4 of them are Game of the Year contenders. So it's almost like you're saying this is the best game that's an action adventure. Anyway, T, what do you think?
Best action adventure?
Yeah.
No.
So the reason I set all that up because I didn't want to give my answer and then be and not have you. Well, I guess I didn't give everyone else a chance to think about that, but I think Death Stranding's going to win action adventure game,
because of that reason.
and I think it's going to be the consolation prize, possibly. But the next is Game of the Year, the big one, and
Oh fuck!
it's like I'm struggling because I don't know. Like, are they just looking at each category? They just decide and move on, and they don't think about. There's no it's like Captain Marvel, how they didn't think about how all the shit already happened in the MCU, and they just like do things that don't make any sense in the continuity of what we've seen so far. Will they do that with this category? Will they just say, forget it, we forgot whatever won that one, and now it's Game of the Year? It's a completely new set of discussions and voting. I don't know, but I'm going to put Death Stranding is going to win 2019's. No, I'm just kidding. I'm putting no. So,
Wow.
Who do you think is gonna win? Were you gonna say that after?
to me, it's between Resident Evil 2 and I think Sekiro. I think that's kind of the going to be the darling pick.
I do think that every category is kind of voted separately in a way. And this is the point where I said, where I lose faith whenever we get one of those Twitter polls and shit. I honestly think you're going to have Death Stranding win. I think it's going to go that far, all this bullshit.
All right, T, what do you think? Is it gonna do it? Is Jeff Keighley gonna be up there on his knees to present the award? Jeff Keighley always gives out Game of the Year. If you guys, anyone,
Yeah,
ever
he
pays
does.
attention.
Of course.
So what a perfect thing to have.
I know.
you
I
all
kind of
look
feel
around.
like I should have reversed my action
So is
adventure.
Jeff Keighley gonna come out from below the stage, but like only his head?
He's gonna have
So he's in prime position.
he's gonna have a little something, maybe on the corner of his lip.
Is that dried up milk?
He's
What is
Princess
that?
Peach in this situation. He's Princess Peach in this situation.
It looks distinctly Japanese. I don't. The consistency is as a middle-aged Japanese. I went too far.
You bet.
Game of the Year. That's. That's it. I mean, if it does, I'm gonna say it does, but that means this show is a complete sham. So
Yeah.
I'm going for a complete sham. So
All right, Robert, what do you think?
I kind of feel like they're gonna surprise him, and then they might give it to Control. And
God.
some bullshit.
I wonder if
And,
that's.
I don't even know what's worse, yo. Was Control or Death Stranding? To be honest, it doesn't make any sense or either. And I
at
just,
least one of them somebody played.
At least Control looks like it has gameplay though.
well, yeah. I mean, to be fair,
That's true.
All right,
Yeah.
Terrell, what big choice? What do you think?
You know what? I'm gonna say no.
Smash.
I think I'm gonna say Smash. I legit. I feel like that's gonna be the fucking like bait and switch. Motherfuckers gonna be like, there ain't no way they're gonna give it the Smash. It didn't even nominate it, but in 3 categories. And if it wins the other 2 categories it's in, I think it's gonna be Smash.
well, also, do you guys think that the fan vote? I mean, like, do you think the fan vote is Smash? Like the overall fan vote won?
Oh, man, well, better be fucking.
It's
Smash.
all just based on
have a
sales,
feeling
probably.
I think based on sales, I think.
But
most
I
people
don't think
voted
I
for
don't know that how
Smash.
many people buying Smash are voting for the Game Awards. I feel like more people who are like wish they had a Smash on their games console are the ones voting. But it's the guys that are the Xbox and PlayStation guys. I feel like are more inclined to go vote at a Game Awards. But who knows? Nintendo's been promoting it and stuff. So T, what do you think's going to win? I don't know if you said, because I'm gonna write
What's
down.
going to win?
Yeah.
Game of the Year?
Oh wait, you put Death Stranding. Sorry. So funny thing is, we all, other than Terrell, we all have it winning 4 awards. Terrell has it winning 3,
I don't think you told the.
and it's all like,
I don't think you guys retro.
Retro said his right away. He said
Oh,
yes.
I didn't.
Death
Hear it.
Stranding is gonna win this
So-
show.
Oh yeah.
Now that I
heard
see
it.
that I picked 4, I'm kind of thinking that's a little low. But T, Robert, Retro, and I all had 4, not all the same ones, and then Terrell only has it winning 3. So it'll at least give
Terrell
me.
has hope, man.
It'll give me a little bit of an inclination to pay attention. I could always check it afterwards, but
But here's my question, dudes. How many awards will I'll put it this way? How many awards would have had to win for you to be like, fuck this shit? I'm done with it. I'm done with this award show and everything.
honestly, if it wins anything,
like, what's the number? It has to cross over, I guess.
just looking at the nominees, even though I didn't play all the games, I would say the cutscenes I've seen, the performances don't seem great, but I haven't seen, there's hours and hours of it. So honestly, game direction's the only thing. I don't think it should win that, but I think anything over 1 is kind of like, it's kind of a joke at that point. I mean, it's got to win some. It's gonna win 1. So anything over 1 though, then that's just bullshit.
It can win some. Like I said, if it wins Game of the Year, I'll never watch this shit again, and actually upgrade that. If it wins Action Adventure, I also never watch this shit again.
So let's talk about a potential announcement during the Game Awards, because this is what, Wednesday or Thursday? When is it? Thursday. So a lot of people speculating that the 5th Smash Brothers DLC character will be announced. I'm one of those people that thinks that's pretty obvious. I'd be kind of surprised if it wasn't. So I guess we could just, who the hell, like, one last time. I think we've done this a few times, but if they do announce it, like, and if you don't have an exact character, but maybe a game franchise or a company that needs to get like represented, I would love for that to be like, for it to be like a big, like a Lara Croft, somebody, a big name, big splash, third-party character. But at the same time, I don't know that Nintendo cares about that. Like what they've done so far, it might just be another of Sakurai's favorite game or from the last couple years or something, So, but if I had to put a name, I'm just gonna put Lara Croft and kind of hope that it is. Anybody else got one they want to throw out? Just officially, last prediction.
I mean, I still think it. I actually do think it would be like the Doom guy.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. That would have been my pick as well.
Yeah, it's got, the problem is because it's the awards, it's got to be like a what the fuck pick, but like someone who's big enough. Because like Joker's main appeal last year was the fact that like nobody saw that shit coming. It was such a what the fuck moment. So it can't be any like low tier characters. Like Lara Croft would make sense. Doom guy would make sense.
And we forgot to talk about how Sakurai said that how much he likes Death Stranding. He played it. He was in a photo with
I don't want to
Kojima.
talk about things that make me sad, dude. That's what I'm telling you right now.
Dude, maybe that's it. Kojima, not
Listen.
not
He
no
can
reason
listen.
Kojima.
Listen. He can enjoy fucking Persona. I'm cool with that. All right. I think it's a mediocre fucking RPG, but you can enjoy that. I'm all right. I'm cool with it. But when you sit there and you tell me that piece of shit right there.
Well, that's the thing.
That piece of shit's okay. Fuck you.
Dude,
right?
when was the last time that Sakurai has said he liked something and was not in Smash one day? Oh God, yo, we're about to get Death Stranding.
Terrell, you're not gonna take a stab,
you know why?
stab
You know
in the
why,
dark and say 2B.
No, because 2B isn't big enough to justify that. I don't think I have a prediction that I would like. like the only other prediction would be Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct, and I'm not
That'd be fucking
super
awesome.
keen on either of those personally. And honestly, I think if it doesn't happen tomorrow, we might get an indie rep tomorrow. No, not yeah. If it doesn't happen on the 12th, that tomorrow's Indie World might have an indie rep.
There's
Nah,
no
they're
way.
not gonna do
There's no
they're
way.
not gonna have a fucking Smash.
Hey, listen.
In the indie world, yo.
Hey, listen. I recognize what I'm saying is a little naive. All right, that's fine. Let me have this. Is what I'm asking you to do, Robert.
It's
Robert,
like
we're supposed to be boys. Let me.
I know,
have
but it's
this.
like in the Twitter replies whenever like Smash is not an indie game.
Robert, I don't ask you for nothing. All right. I'm asking you for this one thing. All right.
I do still feel we need like an indie rap. That would
So
be
I'll put
cool,
Shantae
considering
down
what
for
Smash is.
Terrell's guess.
Oh yeah, Shantae is my guess. for tomorrow.
What about Bob? You gotta bring in Bob.
What about
you
what?
you gotta anything in your
Oh.
gut telling you? Got any inside sources or anything?
Oh shit.
Mr. T?
What was that? Sorry, I just
any
jumped back in.
Game of the year, or not game of the year, during the Game Awards, a character, the final Smash DLC character. Who do you think it could be?
I'm just gonna have to stick with Travis. I'm gonna have to roll with Travis.
That'd be something.
Yeah.
How much
It's gonna
discussion?
be Jeff Keighley.
Oh, Final Smash.
Yeah, the final Smash DLC character. That what you were answering?
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, so we got some questions here. We'll get to those now, and I'll be scoring all these up next podcast. I'll let you guys know how we did. And I mean, the world could be right, and Death Stranding wins nothing, or it could win all 8 out of the 9. And I just think I wouldn't be surprised, honest. I'd be more surprised if it won none than if it won 8.
Gee, what the fuck are you doing to your mic?
I'm trying to adjust my headphones.
He's
Sorry.
beating it
my
up,
hair,
man.
my hair is bothering me, so I have to move.
It's too long
All right,
and
so
luscious.
this is a good one for Dave97, and T might you might remember this, but have any of you ever made a prediction so wrong that you facepalm so hard when you look back with hindsight? For example, T predicted Metroid Prime 4 would release in 2018.
Ouch.
Quotations, I'm sorry, T, or
Stabbing me.
parentheses, I'm sorry, T.
Sure you are. That's why you brought it up.
So I'm trying to think.
He thinks it's so horrible of a prediction.
I don't think I facepalm. But here's the thing. Was it 2018?
Yeah.
2017 you said in 2018.
The thing is, had they not screwed up the development, I think I'd have been pretty close.
So around there.
I'm trying to think if I've made a prediction where I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't usually. I don't know.
Think about that one.
Yeah, like to say that I made a predict. Well, what about just the fact that every year I said, yeah, this year Animal Crossing Wii U's coming out. Definitely.
I did throw a crazy out of nowhere, no sources, none of that, no LinkedIn posts idea out there for a game coming to Switch. It was a crazy idea. Bulletstorm. Oh wait, that did come. Sorry.
Did that come out or
He's
just
like,
get announced?
he's like,
It's
I
not out
recovered,
yet,
bitch.
but,
I recovered.
I remember saying Retro Studios' new game was going to be at E3 about 3-4 years in a row.
About 3 years in a
Oh
row.
my god.
I think we all did that shit.
But other than that, I mean, I usually make predictions and then I quickly forget what I even made.
See, some of these guys don't, you can't get them into facepalm stuff because they're too soft. They're too scared to make predictions. They just want to sit back and shit on mine.
I'd have to look back. I'm pretty sure. I have this feeling that I'm certain that I made some kind of prediction, and maybe even on the podcast a few years ago. I know where I was like, "This is never fucking going to happen," and then it happened. But I have no idea what it is.
Ridley?
I have to look through my games.
Ridley and Smash.
Yeah, I did say that with
Witcher
Ridley,
3?
but not for the same reason as other people. I never said that the size mattered because I mean, come on, Olimar is like the size of Rob's eye socket in real scale, But for me, with Ridley, it was they'd have to destroy his character. But then they made a reveal trailer where he like killed Mario, so I was like, okay, maybe they just keep that intact.
Yeah.
And what a non-factor
too
he
ugly.
is in the game. Like, I mean, I'm sure somebody has him as a main somewhere, but no one here hardly ever plays as him. I don't see him in
As
like
Ridley?
tournaments. But I was watching,
Too ugly.
who the hell
I
was I
play with Ridley
watching?
pretty often when we play together.
Yeah, Retro's like the
Yeah.
only person I see play Ridley.
I just think in the end of the day, there's so many characters that the odds of us playing one certain one
Yeah.
that we pick out of the roster isn't very high,
All right, so next question from Rockia, and you get a chance of any arcade machine to own. I'm guessing like the official, not one of these aftermarket little mini ones, but which do you choose? So for me, it's all about just nostalgia, and it would either be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Street Fighter 2 Championship or whatever the arcade was called, just because those are the two I played the most and just for nostalgia. Otherwise, I don't really have an inclination to own an arcade machine, but one of those two for me.
Mine's is easy. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Nice.
Mine would be. I remember. I think it was Chuck. I think it was Chuck E. Cheese. I used to play this Jurassic Park arcade.
Oh,
machine.
you beat me to it, you bastard.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
It's like that shooting one, and like it was so cool because like I mean at the end you'd have the T-Rex that would go really close to you, and then it was so fucking badass.
Yeah, that was a pretty good.
I never like saw it again after a while. I'm like, I guess it just got too old. Now they replaced it with like newer Jurassic Park kind of stuff, but I don't think it's as like cool.
I remember that one. That one.
Yeah.
You know, and even like a Daytona USA 4 cockpit.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet. But
that's what I was going to. Because realistically, for me, it would be either Metal Slug or Pac-Man. But if I had all the space, I would want that
one of those big stupid ones. That's what I want.
The newest Mario Kart one, where you have like the VR glasses and shit. Like, and you have like Pac-Man racing and shit. I want to play that so bad.
I want Afterburner with the flight stick. That was like one of my first ones.
You like moving around with this cockpit.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, let's see. What was the first thing?
John Connor in Terminator 2. John Connor in Terminator 2 was rocking that thing.
Oh yeah,
he was training for the future. Remember?
All right, what was the first thing in your gaming career that blew your mind or affected you to this day? I would say seeing Mario 64 for the first time. That still stands out as, out of all the gaming, all I've done, all I've seen, that still stands out to me the most. Just fucking could not comprehend seeing Mario 64 for the first time.
Yeah, I just don't know how you beat that. Like, I just don't know how.
I still remember the very first second I seen it. Like, it was a stupid show. It was like a 15-minute show on what's now like the CW, and it was something else when Buffy was on, and then it was something else before that, and it's like, oh, here's this guy talking, oh, here's Mario 64. I'm like, what? I threw in a VHS tape because they're like, we're going to show more of it, and I recorded like 20 seconds of it, and I watched it over and over and over. But
I think for me, it's pretty similar as Mario 64 because it's the same era. For me, it's when in Ocarina, I will never forget that feeling, in Ocarina of Time, when you did the first 3 dungeons, which was like bigger than any game you ever played before, and then you pull out the sword. And then I was thinking, like, my game is finished. This game was amazing and shit, you know? And then you got like 7 more fucking dungeons ahead of, or 5, I think, more dungeons ahead of you. Like, I will never forget the moment how I felt then, where I was legit thinking, how the fuck can a game be this big? It's like, you have such a huge adventure, but like an even bigger one is still waiting for you. That was an insane feeling.
Yeah, that was.
I think that's.
I got the same thing in A Link to the Past, though. It's kind of the same. Like, holy shit, there's way more.
I just think, you know, to kind of ape off what Retro was saying there. I think for me it wasn't just the size; it was the experience of, you know, waking up. You're adult Link. You go out there and the fucking Castle Town is wrecked. Like, you're like. And it's just like that whistling wind, and then all the what are they called? The
Redeads.
The Redeads are staring, and you're like, all that screaming and shit. Like, that really that really sticks with me too. Like, that was pretty intense. Not just the size of it, but just seeing that you know, that happen in the world, you know, 7 years later, how Ganon wrecked the place. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was, I mean, definitely that one was up to just seeing Ocarina of Time and for the first time too.
Yeah.
Also,
just the trailer. I remember going into Software Etc., which is nowhere near being around anymore, but it was one of those kind of gaming computer stores, and just seeing the trailer on the monitor. I was just standing there like an hour watching the trailer play over and over again.
So I'm curious what Robert's answer will be, since he started gaming a little sooner, or a little more recent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, it'd probably again have to be like Galaxy, where I was like, oh shit, so this is a fucking video game, dude. Goddamn, like this is what you could do, like goddamn, like again, I've played other ones. Don't get me wrong, but I guess I wasn't
Like
as
this.
crazily impressed with like maybe Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but like when Galaxy, had all the gravity mechanics and everything, I was just like, oh, holy shit, goddamn, this is crazy what you could do with this.
Yeah,
And
finally, Mario 128. Yes.
and so yeah, that was pretty dope. I mean, it probably has to be that. I mean, that's the one that.
Sorry, I was
that always,
laughing at.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, I would say the first time jumping on one of the small planetoids in Galaxy, and you're like, holy shit, I'm going around the planet like that. That was pretty big too.
I'm just gonna. Mine's is the obvious of Sonic Adventure. Just having that in my hands and playing it. That shit. Because I didn't know about Sonic Jam and that shit until later.
Oh, the little hub world.
Yeah, like that
Sonic
was
Jam.
technically his first.
That was super cool too, though.
It's like when I go back and look at it, the shit looks great. But like Sonic Adventure was the first time I had my hands on it,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "What the like doing like for example doing a loop in 3D just fucked me up all the way." I was like, "Oh my goodness." It's just an experience. It's also was the first time hearing him talk, which is for better or for worse. But,
Yeah. I mean, if you're not just a straight up like Sonic hater, Juice.
I mean, it looked cool seeing it for the first time,
cool to see
but
Sonic
playing it, I was
doing
like,
all that.
I'm not doing nothing.
Really? It was a little jank. Got some jank.
I mean, it is janky. It's a janky ass game,
but you just kind of fought through it. I mean, you do that in all video games. Like, you just like, video games that you like anyway. It's like, this isn't exactly what I'd like, but I still think this is really cool to see. VMU, man, VMU.
Yeah, it's just it was an experience, man.
And Ipster said the Rumble plaque on Lilat for the first time.
Oh, how could I forget?
Hands still shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you definitely
fourth wall breaking. That was greatness there.
I remember, your hands would be a little tingly after in the early days.
Yeah. We're super used to it now, but the first time you played a game like that and it was just rumbling, especially at Star Fox, like that was just strange. It was, how is this working? This is like witchcraft.
And I think that rumble
are like weird.
I think that rumble's better than the fucking the Switch's rumble and the Pro Controller. Like, I mean, it vibrates and has some cool effects, but the actual thumping, throbbing feeling, like it just really it worked.
It was really well programmed, the motors and for the rumble.
It was really intense. Like when you play GoldenEye. I mean, I never fired an actual gun, but I definitely thought I did after playing that shit.
So good question, Ipsters. That was a good one.
That's good, cause memory lane right there.
All right, Dave97. Do you feel the main reason why Nintendo hasn't brought back F-Zero is because there is no market for futuristic racers? Is the series better off living on through Smash and Mario Kart 8? That's tough. I mean, the last two games didn't
Miyamoto
really
told you why they haven't done it.
Yeah, they couldn't think of anything.
He just can't. They just can't think of what else to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. That's basically
that's the sad thing. Because I was going to say the same thing, and the sad part is I believe that he actually believes that, and I think that's why we just haven't gotten it.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't need to fucking innovate. Make it look pretty. Let me fucking race. Like,
Exactly.
That's all there is to it. It's a racing game. What do you want to do? I don't want no fucking guns on it or open world bullshit. Give me fucking F-Zero the way it should be.
It's a racing game. Just,
I mean, the series is actually sold decently. I mean,
they sell. Good enough to warrant sequels.
1 million.
Good enough that everybody copies them.
On N64, I mean, F-Zero X sold 1 million. I don't even. I barely remembered that game.
I loved that one. I think that might be my favorite, but.
And they didn't have numbers for the GX, but I know it was pretty low.
Yeah, well, it was so late in the GameCube's life. It was
650,000.
I remember when it was Christmas.
That's pretty good for that time in the GameCube's life. What was it, 2005 that shit came out?
For Christmas, I got F-Zero X for the N64, and I remember back then I always tried looking for the presents when I was little and shit. and I saw this. I opened the closet and it wasn't wrapped, and I held this game and I was looking at this box art, which is still my favorite F-Zero box art today. That shit looks almost like realistic, and you see like the effects and the sparks and shit. I was like, oh my god, man,
Yeah.
so
Well,
good.
here's the bullshit about we don't know what to do with it. Why don't you do what the hell you were gonna do in the N64 version and give us a fucking track editor and all this shit that you're gonna do with that version? Think of the online connectivity when you want to innovate with the fucking game.
Do have an arms friends lobby where it's like, or just have it where you have fucking 12 of your friends all racing together, you know. But I think one of the problems he might have hit on. I mean, the Future Racers definitely had more, you know, was up there with like fighting games and stuff. It was definitely more 90s, popular back then. Thing. Yeah. But you could still do it. Just, you know, the 200cc Mario Kart 8 F-Zero tracks. I mean, that could be your slowest speed, something along those lines, which is still really playable. Don't make it so fucking hard, like where you have to like master everything to have a chance, you know. Make it a little more.
The problem with that logic of it's just a '90s thing or whatever. Nintendo can say that about all their goddamn games.
Yeah.
Who else makes a 3D platformer? They're the ones who push 3D platformers, and people continue to make them because of Nintendo. Like, people left that shit a long time ago. They left it in the GameCube era, the 3D platformer. Like, nobody would have done it. Kart racers. Who else? I mean, come on. Who else does kart racers? Nobody does kart racing. Nobody, you know, that you don't laugh at.
I love it when like Ukulele and something else coming out, like, we got a resurgence of 3D platformers, and like Nintendo's resurgence, like it never went away.
It never went away. Nintendo's been holding the fort down from the beginning. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you know, besides Nintendo. You mean besides the person who does it the best? The people who do it the best, or besides them?
Besides the best team on the planet for making 3D platforming games.
Right. Besides those guys.
All right. So, Skate's Finest asks, what type of gamer are you? Do you like to play... Is somebody fapping? Do you like to... I'm just reading his question. I'm just reading... Do you like to play... ... Is somebody fapping? Do you like to play multiple games at a time? Or do you like to only play one game at a time and get really invested in that game? I wonder if he was typing last week. He must have been typing this as that happened last week.
Was. Jesus Christ!
So,
That's great.
So do you play multiple games at a time, or you like to finish one and start the other? So normally,
I know Retro's answer.
Normally, I like to finish. I like to get through a game. Maybe not just one game, but I'm not gonna play 6 games at once. But I might have a couple games, and I'm like, and the new, Luigi's Mansion's coming out. I better push through and finish. I don't know if it was Astral Chain. I forget which game I wanted to finish. Might have been, I think it might have been The Lost Legacy. No, I can't remember when I got that. But there was a game I wanted to finish. Like, I want to finish this game in anticipation for Luigi's Mansion 3, so I can just focus on that. So, you know, but there's times where I'll jump back and forth. So I guess I don't have a set one, but I really don't like to play like more than a handful of games at once and like not finish any of them, you know. So I try to keep it a few at a time. All right, Retro. Anyone?
Yeah,
I'll go. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just gonna. It's like these said. Most people already know mine. I play too many games at the same time, which is why I finish games slower than most people. I just have the need to have a game available for every mood I am in. If I feel like a shooter currently, for example, I go to Borderlands. If I feel like an RPG currently, I'll go to Xenoblade. If I feel like something racing, I'll play something. I need a typical genre of almost everything available to me. And when you collect like, you know, everything going back, I'm always playing 100 games at the same time on Steam, on here, like PS4 now with the Switch. Like I think on the Switch alone, I'm playing like 4 fucking games already. I need to just be able to switch on the fly. I can't just waste like I used to hours and hours and hours on the same game. I feel like I get bored. I need that variety.
Yeah.
I mean,
See,
everybody plays their games different.
I think I used to be. For me, I definitely used to be let me finish this game first before I move on type of person. But I think now I'm a player. Right now I'm a player. Like I like to play the field. I like to have multiple, girls at once right now, because it's like unless you're doing something for me that's so good, I'm gonna be looking at somebody else. Like it depends on what's in my rotation.
Right now.
It really depends on what's in my rotation. Like if you ain't good enough to like keep my attention,
Are we still talking about games?
then yeah, we talking about games. But I'm we talking about games, as a metaphor also. But no, so if you're not good enough to hold my attention completely, I'm gonna be, checking out what's going on over here. So when Breath of the Wild came out, it was all Breath of the Wild. It was all Breath of the Wild at that time. I dabbled a little bit here and there, but I was like, I want to get back to playing Breath of the Wild right now. So that's where I was at. But right now, Astral Chain hasn't completely hooked me. So I'm talking to her. And Luigi's Mansion, Luigi's Mansion is starting to get me. So I'm probably gonna focus on Luigi's Mansion a little bit more, and then I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. You know what? You know what's funny is that I completely just ran through Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
so
me too.
She had my attention the whole time. But it kind of just depends on what games are in the rotation for me to.
Yeah,
it's like T said. I think Breath of the Wild for me as well was one of the first games in almost, I feel like, 10 years or some shit where I was just so hooked. Like I was outside, I was thinking it. I was inside, I had to play it. Like I went in that game without really going in a lot of other games.
My
and Darksiders
eyeballs.
3
Because
was
you're
the other
plotting
one.
ahead. You're like looking at landmarks, and you're like,
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
finish that session. You're like, I can't wait to get over there.
If you actually
So you're
finish
thinking
the
about,
session, I
Right.
mean, fucking.
right, exactly, exactly.
And I got I'm not even returning Spider-Man's phone calls at this point. I'm just like I'm just swiping down, decline, send a voicemail. But Lost Legacy was like
hitting the silent button. He only wanted rumbling in his pocket.
me and Chloe, we pulled a whole weekend together.
Right, that's what I did. I was like,
I'm done with it.
That's my girl, Chloe. So
all I'll say is I'm a multitasker. I don't necessarily get as ridiculous as Retro, because I feel like Retro just has a fucking ton of money he don't tell nobody about.
Or they just give money away in France,
Give money away. Fuck the developers. Like, I usually rotate between somewhere around maybe around 3 games, but I have those moments where if a game passes me, it will always be in the rotation, like how Xenoblade 2 was in the rotation for a year and a half, and I just never put that game down. It wasn't until this year where I legit let it go. But man,
I got to finish. 90 hours in. I mean, that's definitely in the rotation. But you get to a place where you're like, I got to grind a little bit, and that slows you down. You know what I'm saying? That's what it does for me.
Yeah.
Astral Chain. Hold on a second. That's when you lick your lips and you flatten out your eyebrows, and you're like, hey, what's up? Heard you were on sale for $49.99.
Yeah. What's this? I got to go through the astral plane for 10 minutes. I don't feel like doing that right now. I want to get back to the cool world.
I rewatched. Somebody was talking about the 20 best reviewed Switch games of the year. I forget. The dude has a pretty good channel. He usually deals with. I think it's the guy that does all the Switch overclocking stuff. I think he did a top
Austin
20.
Evans?
I don't know. It's just I forget what his name. I'm not
Is he
subscribed.
Aussie?
He's got an accent. He's really well done. He's the guy that did The Witcher, I think. The Witcher 3 one with overclocked. But anyway,
yeah, you're talking about
something video
MVG.
Yep.
Modern Vintage Gamer. Yeah.
So he did a top 20, and I'm watching while he's talking about Astral Chain. I'm watching the footage. I'm like, man, they make that shit look so cool. Like the Astral plane stuff. I'm like, man, that looks cool. But then when you're in it and you're like,
and you're falling off cliffs and shit, trying to jump.
It's like when I was trying to go through and find all the missions, because some like most platinum games, they're not always just obvious where you got to go.
Right.
So I'm exploring the shit out of everything, and all right. I'm going into the astral plane for the 5th time, to get all the missions. I get out. And I was like, all right, I need one more. And I'm like, all right, I'm sure it's over here. It goes to a cutscene. End of the chapter. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I missed one somewhere. And the only way to find it, I'm not sure how it works. If I could just find the one I need and just skip all the other extra stuff. But I'm just like, you know what? I did it for the 2nd chapter, whatever. But I mean, I can't say it. I was having a blast. I was just like, kind of felt obligated.
You're just going to work.
So I didn't go back. I didn't do chapter 3. I was like, that was a lot of time. I spent like an hour, and I didn't even find them all. I was like, if you're gonna make them that hidden, like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Just something about that one didn't.
It's a little tedious.
I don't even like doing the cop stuff really. Like talking to people, and then it's like, oh, this word will pop up in red, and at the end you have to remember. Yeah. It's just like this. I'm not feeling this.
Well, the one thing about that is you can get it all wrong. Maybe fine.
Yeah, no. It's not a. I think the grading system depends on it, but
there's just a whole lot of what do you call what's the C word I'm looking for?
Quality? Oh.
No.
The C word?
Quality.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
damn.
The C word? We don't say that
on
here.
Control.
No, when you do something and you consequences, there's not a whole lot of consequences for it.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
I thought it was like I was really enjoying all the parts though.
C word quality.
What killed me the most, this is gonna sound weird coming from me, was how like one-dimensional the characters was. The whole dad storyline, like he disappeared. Oh no, I don't care. I didn't like him anyway. And like the story was just, the idea was cool, but there was really none of the dialogue, some of the action cutscenes were really cool, but all the dialogue stuff, I'm just like, this is just, did Kojima write this shit? Like, this is not. There's some cool stuff. There was some.
That is like one of the biggest insults I've ever heard.
There was some cool stuff and some really cool enemy designs, and I mean, it had definitely some really strong points. But it's just like, the story is so cliche. Like, maybe they're trying to be a satire, or I don't know. I hope they are, because if they're trying to be serious, then
it's pretty cliche. Yeah, it's pretty cliche.
But I just don't care about anybody. And the silent protagonist, it just didn't.
Yeah, I think they messed up doing that. That was the main thing. Why are you trying to let me customize when the customization isn't that great to begin with? Just let me just make these solid characters that I have to play as.
Especially when they already exist. They're
already there.
Maybe a couple years from now, if I went back and replayed it, I'd have fresh eyes on it or something. But it just didn't. But anyway, let's get away from I was almost going to say Death Stranding. Astral Chain bashing. With the Switch releasing in China, could this help it reach 100 million sooner rather than later? Could it reach DS numbers 154 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
DS would be interesting.
Fuck
but
you,
I definitely think 100 something is guaranteed.
I don't know what
it's gonna do.
I don't know.
It could totally flop like everybody else did in China.
I was gonna say, that's what I was thinking. Because at first I was just thinking, China's like the biggest market in the world and that kind of shit. But those guys are heavily focused on like PC and mobile and that kind of shit. I think the PS4 kind of bombed hard there, and the Switch, considering it can be used handheld, it might have a better chance. But
I'm kind of
I don't
surprised
think it's like the gold mine people think.
I mean, and they're going in with 10 cents, so that helps them a little bit too.
But I thought part of the reason why the PS4 bombed was because like so many games were fucking like not allowed over there.
Yeah, but even Nintendo, they barely care. I think they're releasing it with Mario Kart 8, and I think they say like they have planned until the end of 2020 to release like 10 games there or some shit.
Yeah, because I'm just seeing a post right now, and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is the only approved game on the eShop.
Yeah,
Only that's the
fucking
first one then.
yeah. They're so like China's so picky about it. Like none of the PlayStation games could even get through.
They're communists, so that's the problem.
Hey, T, we don't.
Anything.
That's the wrong kind of C word. All right.
Anything.
Go back to quality. Go back to quality.
Any game, a lot of fantasy games are just out because anything having to do with like ghosts or anything like that is completely banned because they think it's witchcraft. So they no, I'm serious. They
do
so
think
Was this North Korea?
Ghostbusters, nope. Luigi's Mansion, you'll never see it in China. They don't do that. They don't play that stuff. So
yeah, it's when Nintendo games are getting censored because they're too quote much.
That's how crazy.
Then you're like, I don't even know why you released an Xbox over there.
That's how
fucking Nintendo games.
All they need to do is put League of Legends on it. That's like huge over there, but.
Yeah.
League of Legends. They
got that one game that was popular. Right? What was that?
That was coming to the Switch.
No, that was a
MOBA game.
Yeah,
it's the Blizzard game.
it was very League of Legends like.
Yeah,
Arena of Valor.
Apex? It's not Apex. What is it?
Is it Arena of Valor?
Probably.
That sounds right.
But I'm pretty sure there's a League of Legends coming, like for console, so it might come to
when though, because League of Legends has been out for years.
Then you have to pull those people off their PCs and their mobile. Like, that's not an easy thing to do.
And that kind of game plays best with like a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, but I remember there was that trailer where they were talking about how they're really trying to streamline it for also console.
Well, yeah, because it's been out for like.
And you got to realize at the same time, China. They already have all these Nintendo games anyway. They bootleg the shit out of everything.
They probably already have a Switch on the market.
Exactly. So
I mean, regardless, it's gonna help it. Even once it helps.
I mean, it'll help it, but it will help it. Yeah. It won't be as big of a.
And we didn't even. I mean, I guess I didn't know they had the update. We didn't talk about I don't think I ever on the podcast talked about the Pokemon sales. The Switch was at like 800,000, while the Black Friday numbers just hit, and Switch did 1.6 million.
Probably the biggest of the Switch sales?
But the Xbox One had a huge, like, percentage-wise jump. It did 734,000 just in the U.S. and it did 145, according to this, in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But the PS4 barely did anything in Japan, and it still did 1.8 or 1.18.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, I mean, we knew the Switch was going to do great. No one was ever saying that. Me and T weren't saying that, but and you could be like, "Oh, they didn't need to." I mean, look at this. Look at these numbers. They didn't need to. But
that's not the point.
They didn't need to what? I'm lost.
Black Friday sales.
Oh yeah,
all that.
Black Friday. Okay, I got you.
Obviously, people bought the shit.
It's not about what they need.
Also, just where are you seeing what
VG
site?
Charts has as the November 30th.
I don't think our argument was what they need to do to sell. But
No,
that wasn't our argument.
It's just when you don't need to. That's when it's easy not to. When it's for Microsoft, they had to do something. They had to put that down to 150 with 3 games.
Wow, I'm surprised PS4 didn't do
and
that.
it had huge numbers. It did almost 1 million. And PS4, they 200 for the Slim with 3 of their best game. One of the, not, you could argue the Last of Us is a PS3 game, but 2 of their bigger games, Horizon and God of War, for $200. I mean, it's and then the PS4 Pro is down to 300.
That is a great.
Oh, it was fucking disgusting.
I've seen people on Discord picked it up and stuff, and it's like, I mean, you can't blame people. You can't blame some people for buying Xbox One X or S for 150 with 3 games and
now the the other side of that is that those systems have been out longer. The profit margins are different, obviously. Switch is newer, so you get that, but you could have done a little bit better on the margins with what you did,
especially
what you did with the
Switch. I just feel like at the very least, like we said, just sell the older model for $250. Let people know, hey, this is the older model. And then, because basically what they did, they just put Mario Kart Digital in there, and then just take one of your games like Mario Maker something, and just throw that in the bundle with the new Switch for $300. To me, that would have been like, all right, that's about all I'd expect.
Yeah,
you know,
I have no complaints
that's
there.
doing pretty good. But anyway, they dominated, and
That's kind of fucking disgusting.
almost
That's
a million
really-
just in North America. It was number one in Japan and Europe, easily in Japan. It was
PlayStation's pretty much dead in Japan.
PlayStation's dead in Japan. Xbox almost did 900 units.
It's not as dead as Xbox.
I feel like every time Jude reads all the Xbox numbers, it comes off
Hey,
sarcastic.
Vita sold 24 units.
Somehow,
Like,
somebody, somebody found 24 Vitas in Japan. How did he do that shit?
Well, actually, literally, to be fair, T, that's like the only country you could find them in.
And the Switch is
well, you can find them on online and whatnot. But
they say the Switch is going to pass the Xbox One by Christmas.
I would be surprised if it hadn't already passed it.
It probably is right now. It might be, but
because it's so close. I'm curious what the best-selling game is, though.
For what?
For that
Switch?
Like, well, yeah. What game?
Isn't it Mario Kart 8?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No. I mean, in terms of Black.
I bet they
Friday.
didn't have
Black Friday.
1.6 million old Switches around though. I guess that was a little more limited.
Yeah, like I said, it's cleaning out the old stock, and
But
also
doesn't Nintendo count the bundle game?
Yeah, they do. That's why I
They
think
count
Mario
it
Kart,
as a sale.
I think that's why it's as high as it is because last
So that's
year.
why you're not beating Mario Kart 8 then, if that's the case.
Put fucking Odyssey. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's
I guess
like,
because the problem is because they don't have to. So it's like, why?
yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't have to do any of this shit. Like we understand that. It would be,
No,
it'd be
but I'm
nice.
If
saying,
you're gonna
like-
do something, I always said,
No. I agree. that,
try a
like,
little
the better,
harder.
The better sell would be to put Odyssey on there, but
or
it's like-
something. I mean, Mario Maker didn't.
But the
it's
thing is,
done
like,
decent
well,
numbers, but
if Mario Kart 8 sells, then why would I do that? I think that's the weird.
Yeah.
Fuck Mario Party. I don't know. I don't even
Well, I think a lot of us were surprised that sold as well as it did.
uh,
Because Super Mario Party sold way better than I thought it would.
I'm surprised.
I mean,
it's
it's
like
not.
what? It's at 5 million, I think.
It's almost at 6, I think.
I think it was 6 or 7. I
Six.
think
It was 6
Ridiculous.
something. Yeah.
But you got
Oh, fuck.
that's just you still got 4 weeks in December. I bet the Switch is gonna average 1 million a week, and then you got
But this
Animal.
is like its weakest month. That's the funny thing.
Still,
I don't remember Nintendo being this goddamn popular since like Super Nintendo. Like people just.
I bet the
loving
Wii
it.
did some numbers like
No,
this.
I mean like people. I'm talking about.
Oh,
like,
y'all right.
kids
Fucking
and people in general.
Super Mario
Yeah.
Party is at it's like 7.5 million.
Like I mean, you know,
Jesus Christ.
I'm a teacher. I see these kids all the time, and it's all about their Switches. I haven't seen this since like Super Nintendo.
You think Pokemon's up to
And Pokemon
10
is
million
like
probably already?
super popular. Right
I mean, combined, it probably is. Yeah.
All right,
see.
so let's get to a few more of these questions and we can come back to
It's
it.
surreal to see like kids playing Pokemon today. It's insane to me that it's still this popular.
And it still plays the same as it did back then when you were a kid. Sorry.
It's the exact same game.
So, Ibsters, if you were to create a video game version of YouTube Rewind, which I don't know what that is,
What?
what moments, memes would you feature? Etika, question mark, your breathing, goose game, etc. Are you breathtaking?
Okay, first off,
I don't know what YouTube Rewind is.
YouTube Rewind every year, yo. They get
They
about
just do
100
they get
million
a bunch
views.
of yeah.
Who gets it? It's just YouTube.
Basically,
It's a look back on the year.
basically
Top
it shows how
YouTubers
fucking they
So
don't
YouTube
care.
itself does it?
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
video every year for it.
Okay.
And it used to be a big thing, but now
Nobody
they
cares.
become so hard headed they don't know how to.
Well, I'm about to
Just
say, did
appeal
y'all
to
see this
people.
year's
That's so corporate.
Rewind?
But this one was just like a list. It was whatever.
It's like a stat list. Like these are the ones. These
It's
are the
all
most
of YouTube. It's not just specific.
No, it's all of YouTube.
Okay.
It's
So
all
what
of
about a gaming specific one? I guess.
YouTube.
well, I guess what he
from
named
this year?
those three for sure. You know, but
What's your breathtaking?
that's the Keanu Reeves. You're breathtaking.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's what
You're
he was referring
breathtaking.
to.
All I know is that I'm the 238,657 best YouTube channel in America.
Hey, dude,
Like,
You see?
well, that's pretty high.
that
Of
is,
a number of positions.
That's my position on the top list in America.
Oh, yeah.
237,000, man.
I guess
That's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah. When
Better
you
than
think
me.
about, you got to think about the millions and millions of channels. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but how many of them are gaming focused?
Yeah, it's category wise too. So
It's per gaming. I don't know how high that is when you look at games.
All right, well, that's still million, dude. Games like the biggest thing on the platform. Yeah.
Robert, go check his number. Oh, I'm
But
higher
not-
than you,
but
T.
not for
Fuck
long.
you,
Wait till
Robert.
January 1st hits.
And then January 1st hit, and that ad revenue drops like a motherfucker.
People are out of here.
It's like it's time to go.
Well, then that's when we rise.
That's when we rise. No,
We
that's when
rise
you go
on
to,
Twitch or
yeah, that's when you go to Twitch. Life is depressing here on the YouTube.
and it's not like about money. Like I just don't like the idea of giving these assholes money, and I'm doing all the work, and they're getting all the pay.
But T, I have a question: is your content suitable for children? That's my question.
See, my whole channel is fucked. Yeah, I have to like I got toys and puppets and shit.
Mhm.
I'm
We're
fucked.
talking about hating.
So what would you guys throw in some YouTube gaming related YouTube from this year?
Is
Trying
there
to-
anything that was like stand out? That was,
a fucking
I'd say Link's Awakening reactions, even though most of them were
no,
fake.
it's the Banjo
fake
Kazooie.
as shit.
It's the
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo
Banjo-Kazooie has to be
Kazooie
there.
reactions. That's
Yeah,
what you want.
I think
Those
definitely
were-
reactions.
most of
just
those
the-
were real, I
random
think.
shit.
That probably Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, yeah.
What else came out this year that was like of note?
The Last of Us 2 trailer.
I guess that would be a good one.
I've seen
Yeah, Last
people
of Us 2
streaming Mario Maker in this first week there was some pretty good shit, but I don't know that would make a rewind, but it definitely was big for a couple weeks there where
I'm
that's
trying to think what else of note. 2019 is not like a hype year. I feel like last year. Was
Yeah, it wasn't
that
wasn't
Xbox
any, like,
Scarlet reveal.
Oh,
Juice, why you even put that bullshit in
That
there?
Well, I mean,
the
we
Lego
checked-
the Lego car.
Shut
on
up, B
stage.
Wild. I see what you wrote in the
the
comments.
Lego car.
Man wrote Story Fire. Get the fuck out of here.
Was
The Death
Jump
Stranding.
Force reveal?
Hey, no. The reveal, first off, the reveal
Not the
reveal
Last
was
year.
kind of cool.
That was last year.
That was last
Yeah.
year.
The game can't
Jump Force
You know what?
reception, I should say.
Definitely the number one thing would be the Game Award nominations.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, I don't
Death
know.
Stranding.
They showed what the top 5 most viewed games on YouTube were for this
It's like
year.
Overwatch and Apex and Minecraft.
No. What?
Those
No,
are the
no.
esports ones.
No, it was Roblox.
Oh, that's what is Roblox?
Oh yeah, Roblox is
I keep
totally.
hearing about that shit. I have
Hey,
yet to
my
see it.
kids are like obsessed.
So what's the other rest of the top
Roblox.
5 before you?
Wasn't
Uh,
it Minecraft was the top one?
It's top one's Minecraft, then Fortnite, then
I'm surprised
then
Minecraft still gets that
Total
many views.
5, then Roblox, and then there's one more.
Persona 5?
Something's
Yeah.
higher than Roblox.
Minecraft is not still
No,
getting those
well,
views.
Roblox-
Like PewDiePie brought that shit back.
Roblox was number 5. Yeah,
Roblox is number 5. Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
I'm surprised the World of Warcraft Classic didn't get. I wonder where that was on the list.
Oh right, I forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah.
What the fuck was the one? I'd have to look it up again.
What the fuck is that?
So let's get to this next.
All those Roblox videos have 1 million plus views all the time,
Well, I mean,
crazy.
again, Minecraft is always king.
and Minecraft too. But
That's because kids watch that. So
Yeah,
how's that
it's
gonna
kids.
be
That's also
affected
where
next year?
pedophilia exists.
And that's
at.
why
We don't talk
copies
about
are-
that.
Man, I want
That's probably why.
I'm just saying, Retro. You know what I'm talking.
They're gonna have to
about.
disable
Oh,
comment.
guys, shut up.
You're not gonna be able to get any comments on your Minecraft videos. Like that's gonna kill channels. But anyway,
yeah, it's gonna completely destroy them.
Yeah, thanks YouTube.
overall,
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's some
All these guys with their fake
it's
excitement,
called
with their boring ass game.
I never even heard of this game. It might have been. I have to look. It
What
might
was
be
the game?
Chinese game. Garena Free Fire.
Oh, I should have known it was a Chinese game. What the fuck?
Let me see. I don't know. What
I don't know that one.
He sounded shook, like he had just saw.
They got a fucking 2 billion people over there, man. Of course, it's something
No,
Chinese.
it's just a mobile game. I don't know. I never heard of
It
it.
probably is a mobile game. Yeah. It's probably a gotcha game.
all right. Let's get to the next question. Is actually an interesting take on the Smash reveal. Is there any way Nintendo could make it a surprise announcement where you're not gonna just see the Smash logo at the beginning? Do you think they're gonna gonna try to make it a secret.
Yeah, but I feel like that pissed off certain fans depending on what game franchise it's from. Like where people, what was it? It was the Animal Crossing one kind of did that, where like they did the Isabelle announcement. People thought, oh my god, it's a new Animal Crossing, and then it was just Isabelle and Smash.
The thing with the Animal Crossing is that people haven't been paying attention because every Smash reveal trailer at that point said not actual gameplay footage. I know the second they said that it was going to be a Smash thing. What tripped me up was when they followed that up with the Tom Nook thing and it said the same thing.
No, dude, I'll be honest. I again, if you see my reaction, I thought from the very second I was tearing up. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was good.
It's finally here. And then when they said Smash, I was silent. I was like, this is bullshit.
So you think it's gonna?
It was hot.
I just imagine Robert had like a deadpan face.
Again, a lot of the time, like,
looking at the screen, like.
So you think they're gonna?
The thing is, because you can't actually see, like, my TV's kind of big, so I can't see everything all the time, and so I miss something.
It's fucking theater TV on the wall, so 5 feet in front of them.
I'm like, oh, this is fucking bullshit.
I think the only way this is gonna work with like a general surprise is if they go like Terrell's route, and if tomorrow we get something, that's the only way this is gonna come out of nowhere.
Yeah, like curb you inherently.
I expect the Smash logo at the Game Awards in the beginning. I don't know. That's what I think.
I hope not, man.
I hope it just randomly shows up.
They haven't done that a lot though. Like in the last few reveal trailers,
the last time they did like a random out of nowhere shit was the fucking Pac-Man reveal back from the Wii U era when they that was like behind closed doors for like certain gaming media.
Yeah, but
and all the fan base saw was a fucking YouTube video show up all of a sudden that said red, blue, and yellow Super Smash Brothers. And we were like,
yeah.
And that was cool as shit.
And we were like, what the fuck is that? And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, Pac-Man's
It's going to be, new Doom Eternal. It says Doom Eternal. And then all of a sudden he goes through a door and it's a Smash arena.
That would be so good. That's what I want.
They could do it as a secret, I think.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? They should announce a new game within a Smash trailer.
Like reverse
like Animal Crossing?
No, like a reverse Animal Crossing. Like announce a new F-Zero.
Oh my
Falcon Punch.
But the trailer is for like a new character that also is racing focused.
Huh.
Oh, I thought you meant something like announce like a new F-Zero, but you see Smash, you got the Falcon, all of a sudden he jumps and like the
actually
they can make you think it's a Smash reveal and it's a new game in a series.
Yeah, well, that works too.
That'd be cool.
It's like misdirection, but you're happy at the same time because you're like, oh my god, it's a new F-Zero.
All right, so question from me.
What did you ask?
2 years later, will Bayonetta 3 be shown at the Game Awards on Thursday? Yes or no?
It's 2 years.
2 years since they announced it.
It will be 2 years. Yeah.
I'm gonna say
since it raises legs fell apart.
Yep. I'm gonna say.
What the fuck was that?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, my kneecaps.
Even though I wish they would, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that would just be at a direct.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say yeah, considering their 10th anniversary is.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it'll be at E3. I think that'll be this.
That's a good point. The anniversary. I didn't think of that.
Because we got that fucking Vanquish and Bayonetta collection announced today.
Oh yeah, Vanquish.
Well, let me phrase that. Officially announced, even though it was leaked like last
coming
week.
to Switch.
Right.
It's not coming to Switch. It's only PS4 and Xbox One.
Only everything except for a Nintendo console.
Yeah, only. Where the fuck is
it already has Bayonetta.
We already got Bayonetta.
But it is a celebration of their anniversary, though.
And the other systems don't get Bayonetta 2, so.
Because they can eat a dick.
Yeah, I'm sure fucking Sega. They say they're probably like, fuck man, I wish you could put Bayonetta 2 on these other platforms.
I've never played Vanquish. That would be nice.
I heard Vanquish is really fucking good.
You think Bayonetta 3 is gonna make an appearance at the Game Awards, T?
I do.
I want to say yes, but
I think it'll be there.
I do.
All right, so that's it for the questions, and
fuck,
we had some good ones. And so, anything you guys want to say? We got a few minutes. Anything?
Any last words?
Any?
Right,
did we forget something? Is there an update?
Listen. As for the commenters, the guys here supporting the video, the streams and whatnot, just have 911 ready because I feel like I'm gonna get choked out when this podcast cuts off. We'll throw that out there. But like, just like, who fucking told you to talk this much? And then I get pistol whipped. So I'm just letting y'all know.
You're coming late, and then you go all the damn talking.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. He's a dick. He's a madman, I tell you.
Did you finish Pokemon yet?
Oh, yeah, I beat that like within the first 3 days.
We're gonna play Soul Calibur anytime, you think?
I mean, we can play it. I mean, I'm down. I'm not.
I haven't touched it since that day I made all my customizations. You have it
on P-Sizzle? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have P on P-Sizzle because we got it on sale.
Even though we bought the expensive, even on sale, it was still cheap. We still bought the fucking expensive one.
We're fucking stupid. That's what we're telling you. I think Juice bought it for $2B in that ass.
Seeing them damn titties and shit, ass and shit jumping.
I don't tell you what to do.
I thought about picking up Nier. Thought about picking up Nier and putting on the self-destruct mode or whatever.
I knew you would do that.
Terrell knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. It's ass and titties again.
The fat mode.
You mean the thick mode? I'm surprised y'all didn't turn this into the movie.
Let's talk about if Bayonetta 3 does get shown. Now it's been 2 years. We've had Astral Chain on the Switch.
What do you think the release date will be?
Exclusive. So, what do you expect to see out of Bayonetta 3? Like, is it just gonna be very similar? You think they're gonna stay very close to the Bayonetta 1 and 2 formula?
No, it's gonna be different.
I don't know, man. I think it'll be just some more awesome Bayonetta.
The first thing is I think we'll get more playable characters. That's the first thing. It's two kind of plays with that idea.
Yeah, you get to play as her mom, Jean.
I don't think you'll get to play as her mom.
And then if you were really good in the multiplayer, you got
that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
You got to unlock the
Rodon.
Yeah, it was Rodon.
And Balder was the other one. So I would think you're probably gonna get to play with Jean during the main story. Maybe Rodon. I'm curious if they'll make sections for like Cheshire and fucking. They won't do that way.
I'm just wondering, after Astral Chain, I know that wasn't the same crew. I mean, that was kind of the Nier. It was kind of a combination of their teams, but I just feel like I don't know if they're gonna try something like visually. What they're gonna do, is it gonna just be a little bit cleaner than Wii U? Or are they gonna maybe mix up the art style?
I think it's gonna be, because I feel like 1 to 2 is just like more of like control and like quality of life changes. I feel like is what 2 is to 1. I think 2 to 3 is gonna be them being more reckless with ideas and gameplay styles. And
I wouldn't mind them take a little chance with
because I think the problem with 2 is like 2 is a good version of 1 that makes me not want to play 1 again. I'm thinking 3 is going to be like a proper sequel, like a whole different experience.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I wouldn't be mad if they like got away from trying to make it look photorealistic in a way. Like I'd almost like to see more of an artistic style to like a not cel shaded, but something a little more.
Like how different, I guess.
Just something like. I can't just say it because I don't know, but I'm just like envisioning, like Ononaki, like how that wowed you like the first time you saw it. Not to look like that, but something that just like makes you go, wow, like I did not. That's not what I was expecting.
I think it's gonna be very similar to 2 in a lot of ways, and I think they probably maybe just have a slight graphical update. I feel it's gonna look pretty similar to the Wii U version. I feel the main thing they'll probably do is integrate like a new combat mechanic, maybe that she can transform or something. Astral Chain, just something new to the battle mechanic, or something more I see over like a drastic visual change.
Well, I mean, just going from 1 to 2. 1 to 2 has a drastic visual change, because if you go back and play 1 is one of the most muddy looking fucking games.
Yeah, but graphically it changes a lot, and that I can see. But I mean, the style is still the exact same.
Well, I guess my question in that sense is, would you be cool if it's like a more of a color palette change than a art than like
I could see that, and almost like not quite just like your typical cell shaded, but just
I don't know,
like
Bayonetta,
something with something like just some character, like damn, like that looks badass, you know, like because
I feel like 2 was close to where it was such a, but the problem is that I'm comparing 2 to 1 and not 2 to like modern other games in the genre. Like, I guess, would you want it to be something close to like DMC5's look or no?
I mean that's I mean
I say closer, not the same thing, but like
closer. I don't think I think if you try going that realistic with it, I think it's not gonna be the results. I don't think are gonna be great.
Well, that's also because Bayonetta already is a pretty unrealistic looking character. So
yeah, and I think with the things the character does, I think the more real you try to make it, it just kind of feels off.
It kills
I almost
it.
feel
so
like
you want them to go more like cartoony with it?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying I want it. I think it would have more impact as far as like.
I'm also
first
hoping
impression.
now, considering each of the games usually put her in different stances. Like the first game, the majority of the game, Bayonetta was domineering. In the second game, she was pretty equal with Baldur, all the way up until like the latter end of the game. And in this game, the third game has her like struggling off the at least based off of the trailer or the teaser we got, makes it seem like she's going to be struggling a lot of the game. I'm looking forward to the story being something that doesn't involve the first 2 games because I like the second game's story to a degree, but it also suffers from being like
rehashing some areas.
Yeah, like, oh look, it's because I think one of your issues was the fact that they were reusing levels and shit, and it was like, I get it, I understood why plot wise, but it also felt like a cop out. So you could.
Plus, they did which I didn't mind the little frozen cutscenes where it's just still shots. I kind of like that, but I feel like it was a budgetary thing and maybe a time.
It doesn't fit with the way Bayonetta flows nowadays. Like either that or update it. Like maybe
I guess a change I'd like to see is for it because I haven't played the first one yet. But compared to the second one, a change I would like to see is for it to become less slapsticky.
What?
Like, make it a bit dark, a bit more serious. Like that fucking guy in the beginning, the fat mafia guy, I forgot his fucking name.
Yeah, I don't like him.
That
he
shit
seems...
like killed it.
The slapstick is part of the.
I like Luca. I think his slapstick.
I like Luca is cool to be like. I like the slapstick. And it's not used that often. It's only really used with those 2 characters.
When he goes to catch Bayonetta and he goes right through him, and then yeah, that's funny.
Enzo, the problem with Enzo is if you're gonna use Enzo needs to change as a character.
Enzo doesn't fit in with the rest of the
because Enzo's used as like a punching bag and like exposition, and I'm like,
forget about it. It's like,
yeah, there are better ways to do that. Either he needs to change or to use like a family character.
Die, just not be in the game.
All right, listen, retro. I thought you were pro-life. All right, we're not. I thought we weren't doing this.
Wow. That took a turn.
Well,
no, but like
I can say after playing Devil May Cry 5, like I don't know if I said this on a podcast or if I even said this on a Juice Opinions or anything, but the Resident Evil, the RE engine or whatever is like it's on a whole nother level with like the realizing characters like faces and hair and all that. It looks so freaking, I mean, like next gen to me. But Devil May Cry also has like super neon lights, like really bright, colorful.
Neon, it's not
shit.
Like washed out or anything.
No, it's got a nice clean look to it, but it at the same time, seeing the characters, it's probably the worst example since Metal Gear Solid 4 of a cutscene showing a character do this shit, this amazing acrobatic stuff, and then you get control of the character and you're like, oh yeah, I can do maybe a tenth of that, what he just did, type of thing. But it at one hand, it kind of looks like the more realistic you get, the more kind of ridiculous it gets when they're doing this stuff. On the other hand, some of the scenes it does look really cool.
I mean, Bayonetta suffers from that to a degree, where like some of the shit that she does in the cutscene you can't do in the main game.
Yeah.
Or you can only do like a variation of it. Like,
but this is like so beyond that.
The other thing I hope is that they kind of bring back what the first game had with like more varying enemy designs, because the problem I had with 2 is 2 reuses a lot of the designs from the first game, and I miss like the introduction to certain enemies, and I also miss like ended up having some more like goofy moments. Like the funniest thing is when she ran into that angel that can turn into like her, look like her, and they had like this ridiculous dance off and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I missed that kind of moments because it was so. Who's passed out? I hear
It
snoring.
sounds like
I
someone
think
snoring.
T is actually sleeping.
T's falling asleep. Yep.
It's either T or Robert. I can't tell.
No, that's
I think it's
no.
T.
Okay, it's T. It's T.
Hush, little baby, don't say.
Fuck. What are you talking about?
He woke up.
I'm not asleep.
He just
I
breathed.
moved my mic.
He just breathed really hard into the mic.
Yeah, my mic is like really like moved it down, so it's like right up on my nostril.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. It's going to be interesting to see if they show it what direction.
Hey, when is
they took.
when's the Game Award?
Thursday?
It's Thursday at like 8 Eastern time.
And it's probably 3 hours again.
Yeah, no, it's 2.5.
2.5. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be 2.5 hours fucking waiting just for the
No,
goddamn
8:30.
Smash
It's like
reveal.
8:30 Eastern Standard Time to like 11 o'clock.
I bet they do the Smash reveal right
You think they
before
would save that to the end?
Yeah, right before the
No,
game.
they
ends.
will.
Smash reveal, I think, is gonna be like in the middle.
Yeah, it's gonna do the last fucking thing.
Retro, I'm glad you're so positive.
Yeah.
I want to be just like you when I grew up.
But I think that's going to do it for this week's podcast. Thanks to everybody again, as usual, for tuning in, for the questions, for the panel here, for the good discussions every week. And we'll be back next week to go over the results of the Game Awards. And are we going to be in shock because Death Stranding won none? Are we going to be in whatever the opposite of shock is because it won them all? I guess tune in next week to find out. But until then, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next week.